Welcome, everyone, to another month of Body Mastery with Stan. And today we're going to talk about something that I have no clue about, which is looking at the world of cold plunges. Now, I will say I know nothing about this because, girlfriend, I am from the tropics. I grew up in Belize. My family's from Jamaica. I love it hot. You hear me, Stan? Hotter the better. So you're telling me about a completely different world, but I'm intrigued because I know that many of us have been learning or hearing about this wonderful, mysterious world of cold plunges. So tell us more.
Well, and I love that. I love the fact that you brought all those hot climates up, and it's not, maybe it's not uh, the experience because the water temperature is probably warmer, and even their cold water. Like I've gone down to Florida and I've turned the water all the way to cold, and it's like it's lukewarm. Like you can't get cold water in certain parts of Florida. It's just almost impossible because the pipes are running, pretty close to the surface.
Underground.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, the heat that you have, it warms all those pipes up. So when you talk about cold, um, you've got to force that cold. And it's the experience. So we can hear about all of these benefits of multiple things. And what I wanted to talk about today was the benefits of cold therapy or cold showers.
Hmm.
And we can psychologically know certain things, or we can viscerally experience it. What I mean by that is, I can psychologically know that if the stove is on, the burner has run, and even if I shut it off, that burner, that grate is going to be hot. Now, psychologically, I can know, but viscerally, if I touch that thing by accident, I will never forget. And so this is the difference between, anything that we talk about the body is, psychologically, we can know certain things. We can know
Hmm.
that a bike can take us from point A to point B. But until you get on and pedal that bike, you don't know what the exuberation, the feeling of being free and the wind hitting your face and
Hmm.
just seeing life from a different perspective can be until you get on it. So what I'm going to invite our listeners to do is to think about, we can look at time and we can say time can stand still in certain aspects of life, right?
Hmm.
Places we don't want to be, like standing in line at the grocery store when there's, you know, 15 cash registers and there's only two that are open, right? That's a place that we don't want to be. Well, you
Hmm.
may think cold showers is not a place that I want to be, but
Hmm.
what I will invite you into is the opportunity to have an experience that does more for you than standing in line at the grocery store. Because what
Okay.
you're doing at the grocery store is you're preparing to produce food that brings
Hmm.
energy and nourishment to your body. Now you've got to
Hmm.
pay for that. I'm suggesting that you're already paying for the water that's coming out of that spigot. Why
Hmm.
not turn that lever over to this complete blue? All right. You will not turn blue, promise you. It's impossible. Okay. And allow it to energize your body. Now, I've got some facts that I'd like to share with you.
Okay.
So, understanding that the optimal temperature is somewhere between 50 and 60. So you don't have to jump into an ice bath that's like already at 45 or 40 degrees. You don't have to go to the lake and jump in and bust a hole in the ice. I suggest that you don't do that because this is what happens: is that people, they jump out of an airplane and then they forget to strap the parachute on, and it's not pretty. So don't go
Mm-mm.
that you need to jump into a bust a hole in the ice water. So 50 to 60 degrees. So 55 is kind of that optimal temperature.
Hmm.
And what happens in 30 seconds, you have instant circulation boost. So what happens is your body's blood vessels start to constrict and it pushes blood to the vital organs. So now you are preparing your body to to the extremities. So the blood goes to the big muscles, the big arteries. So it closes up on the internal parts of the body, and it creates an adrenaline release. Now, this gives you a shot of norepinephrine, and it increases our alertness and our focus. Obviously, when you're in a cold shower, you're going to be alert. You're going to be thinking, "Hey, what's the deal?" Um,
Uh-huh.
and you're going to count, and you're going to look at a timer, and you're going to go, "My gosh, it seems like 5 minutes has passed, and it's only been like 5 seconds." And this is I want to say when time seems to be eternal, when you are in a cold shower and you are doing
Mhm.
this. But what happens is, if you will just try this now, if you've got high blood pressure or if you've got some other physical medical conditions, I'm going to
Mhm.
say eliminate that. Don't do this. Maybe turn it to a little bit cold and test it and watch what
Mhm.
happens. Um, but it will also trigger mood improvement. Like you may not, you'll be cussing at me while you're in there. And I've had several people tell me that, but afterwards they're like, I can't believe it. It's an amazing amount of energy and mental clarity. Now,
Wow.
in 30 seconds, you can do this. It also, in 30-second time, it can actually trigger dopamine as an increase by 250%.
Nice.
Now, you don't need to go to social media. You don't need to buy something off of Amazon. You don't need to spend any
Mm.
money to get this dopamine fix. 250% of dopamine increase in 30 seconds. I think the trade-off is pretty in your favor. And it's
Well,
also
you're also, if you do this consistently, you could lower your electric bill because I mean the water heaters cost a lot of money to pump out that hot water. I don't know, I'm still on the fence.
okay.
'Cause I
Okay.
just it's a mindset thing. I know, but I even in the summer I use hot water. That's how tropical this body is.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. Where
Mm.
where do you get your biggest growth? In your comfort zone or outside of your comfort zone?
Oh, now you know the truth is outside the comfort zone. We all know that.
Okay. Psychologically, we know that, but viscerally experiencing that is totally something different. Yes? You see,
Absolutely.
I can read a book and learn all the aerodynamics of a bicycle.
Hmm.
I can learn the circumference of the front sprocket in relation to the rear sprocket. And I can understand that I can gain so much speed by reading it. But until you get on that bike,
Hmm.
it's only psychological knowing.
Yes.
So, what is the excitement behind getting on that bike? An experience that you can't experience by just reading about it.
Hmm.
And
And you
yes,
and you know another tremendous benefit, all putting all jokes aside, another tremendous benefit is helping to reset the autonomic nervous system. So if you have a system that is constantly being overstressed, I know it may sound paradoxical, but this actually helps you to reset because think of it as, um, pendulum, a pendulum swinging from one extreme to the next, right? So when you shock the system with this cold water, it's creating such an intense surge of the sympathetic nervous system that your body is going to swing back
right.
into the parasympathetic. And when you do this on a more consistent basis, you're now teaching the body how to relearn the way in which to re-access the parasympathetic aspect of the nervous system. Because many people are so triggered that they stay in the sympathetic, meaning the fight or flight, where they're always in that zone of, waiting for something to happen kind of thing. And they don't even realize that they're there. So you may be in that zone and you may not even realize that you're constantly in that stress zone. And then when you go through this type of activity, you're helping the body to go into that extreme, shoop, and then the body will autonomically go back to the other extreme because it's a pendulum And now you're learning or you're shifting into the parasympathetic, you're retraining your body, recreating those pathways of accessing the parasympathetic.
That's that is absolutely the truth. And I love the way that you brought that in because, you talking about you take hot showers even in a hot climate. Okay, so it is you knew the facts of what that's doing to the parasympathetic and the sympathetic fight or flight, and yet you've been an avid hot shower person. And
Love it.
you can say to yourself, man, I just wish today would go differently, right? I mean, maybe any of our listeners have said that. Today can go differently. And what I do, and I'll tell you what I do, and
Mm-hmm.
I start my day with a 5 minute cold shower.
Wow, 5 minutes?
5 minutes. Now, I'm watching
Wow.
I'm watching the timer. So I'm in the shower and I look at the timer. I've shaved while my face is all the pores are open. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I flip that lever over to cold and I take a nice deep breath in and I let that water fall on me. And you know, 1 minute, 2 minute, 2.5 minute, 3 minute is probably the challenge part. But after
Wow.
about 3 minutes, my body starts to
Yeah,
get,
you're numb.
and at 4 minutes, I'm going, okay, now my body is really cooling down. But what I know is that um, if I don't do it, it's not a negotiation. Like I don't negotiate with that. It's
Mhm.
5 minutes of a day in 24 hours. And the impact, and what I've done is I've also tested it. So there have been
Mhm.
days when I get up and I go, you know what? I'm just gonna go and dust a couple things. I'm gonna sweep the floor out there before I jump in the shower. And then, it turns into an hour of cleaning or,
Mhm. Mhm.
it turns into 2 hours. But I notice the difference in energy that I have
Mhm.
in that 2 hours versus now when I get done doing that cleaning or anything that I throw in, outside of my normal routine, I do that
Mhm.
shower. It's not negotiable, but it's
Mhm.
and because my body has had a chance to really warm up and just get moving, circulating. But with the cold water, it changes that circulation to an energized circulation. And now my mind is clearer than it would have been otherwise.
And it's a very good activity to integrate into your cleansing program.
Oh
And
yeah.
what I mean by that is it's very well known and documented the use of alternate temperature. So you would have your, say, a minute of hot water, then a minute of cold water, then a minute of hot water, then a minute of cold water. And just like Stan said in the very beginning of what we were talking about today, you're forcing the blood to go in and out. I mean, the blood vessels, sorry, to contract, expand, contract, expand, contract, expand. And when you're contracting and expanding, you're actually going to facilitate the release of the toxins in the body, the release of the toxins through the skin and everything of that nature and out of the body. So it's a phenomenal um, therapy that costs nothing other than the water that you're going to be spending money on any old way. So, I mean, this is talk about bang for your buck. This is it.
It is. It is. And my son-in-law went to when he got married. Before he got married, my daughter bought him a pass to a spa,
Mm-hmm.
and they did this therapy where they are showering his body with hot water
Mm-hmm.
completely, and
Mm-hmm.
then cold water, and going back and forth. And there are places around the country called Icy Hot, and so they have a bath. So you
Yeah,
go from
plunges. Yeah.
yeah, so one plunge to the other, and I notice when I've done that change, when I do that hot water, and what I want to say is, if you do cold water, don't go to extreme hot. Do a warm, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then graduate it. But when you finish with a slightly less than cold, warm more so than hot, because
Mm-hmm.
want to get your body into that relaxed state. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
shocking your body, going from that, I have tingles.
Bruce, absolutely.
What it's doing is it's also tightening up the pores of the skin with the cold water, and it also creates a shine to your hair. So it's opening up the
Mhm.
follicles and closing the follicles, and it's actually changing the chemistry in our body, which can give you that younger, it's that shower of youth, the
Mhm.
water of youth. That's what cold water can do for you. So if I can share a couple more
Yeah. Little
points,
tips.
after 1 minute, it activates the immune system. White blood cell count starts to increase in response to the stress. Your metabolic rate rises because now you're burning calories at the
Mm-hmm.
maintain your core temperature. Now, you can lose weight in the shower, okay?
That is true. Going
Um,
back and forth, yeah.
At 3 minutes, the thermogenesis intensifies. So now your brown fat activates. Creates that ATP that is in your cardiovascular and
Mhm.
your mitochondria. Okay, so this is the energy source of the body, and when you're in there, you're changing thermogenesis in your body. And so here, you didn't even know you were going to lose weight by this talk today. And you don't even have to do anything, just stand and you can start to lose weight,
Exactly.
start to burn calories. 4 to 5 minutes at 55 degrees, your hormonal balance, um, testosterone
Mm-hmm.
increases and cortisol decreases.
Yeah.
So this is uh, hormone therapy, basically.
Yeah.
Lymphatic circulation begins to boost, and this enhances the detox pathways, as you were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
to the muscle, because they're constricting and they're shivering. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where that lymphatic system gets engaged. So these are just some of the benefits that you can um, adopt and enjoy
Mm-hmm.
through cold therapy. And when you get adventurous, you can take a swimming pool, fill it up, just a little blow up swimming pool, and throw a couple 10-pound bags of ice in it. And
Yeah, well, yeah,
and
that's for the PhD level people.
and the thing that I want to suggest also is when you're breathing, control your breathing.
Slow it
Nice,
down.
nice, deep breathing, slow, not panting. Okay, we don't want to increase cortisol, so we just want to learn to breathe through it and be calm about it. And the benefits, if you don't get benefits, you can write me an email, okay, and tell me you got no benefits, and we can have a conversation.
It would always be a matter of tweaking it for the individual because this
Exactly.
is one of those natural therapies that goes back millennia. It's been used for thousands of years in various societies. I know up in New York, we have like the Polar Bear Society that goes out into the Hudson in the middle of December, I think it is, or January, one of those 2 months. Now we're not expecting you to go out into the Hudson in the middle of January. And start off small. Just like Stan said, start off with maybe say 30 seconds.
Right.
And in those 30 seconds, to really take the time to focus on your breathing, to focus on your visualization, to focus on your mantras or the belief systems that you may have, and start to allow yourself to, as he says, shift into the zone of uncomfortable so that you can reap the phenomenal benefits of health and healing. And you can't get cheaper than this. So,
That's right.
hey,
Yeah.
you don't need a fancy one of those fancy tubs or whatever it is. You can start off with just utilizing your shower in your own bathroom. And there you go, ladies and gents, our body mastery hack for this month. Any last little bits
No,
before we go?
I just say, just chill out and do it.
There you go. Like we say down here in the South, get her done. Just do it. Until next time.